I'm here at RGL Land Day 2 with one of these 6 invite teams that did make it, but this time I will be doing a 2-person interview with the co-leads of the Mafia. Also, buy the Mafia merch. You know where to go. Merch.firesidecast.tv. Buy the merch. I got Dinko, the medic. I got Necro, the pocket scout. If you saw 2 of him at LAN, that's his doppelganger. That's not his brother. It's just a fucking doppelganger. But we are coming off the back of a second-place finish, losing to GCI in the grand finals of your little mini bracket that I guess RGL set up for the open side. But how are you feeling so far about LAN and the overall environment?
Dude, this LAN has been so great for us. It's all of our first LAN, so it was really awesome just to play, just to talk to like people I played with in the past. I've been playing for so long, so it's cool just people coming up, communicating stuff. In the beginning of the thing, like we did get game off on GCI, which was really, really cool, and we did really well. Today it didn't happen so much. They definitely adapted a lot better than us at the end, but second place isn't too bad, so we'll take it.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, like he said, it's all of our first LANs. It's been a really awesome experience. The crowd is electric. Yeah, the games have been awesome, despite losing and unfortunately getting second.
Moving over.
Yeah, we all still had a lot of fun. We're still happy with our second place finish. Yeah.
I think one of the big things about the Mafia was prior to this season, you guys placed 5th to 8th, but technically you placed 5th based on like where you finished the regular season. 5th to 6th. Yeah, because you guys lost to the Global Clan team last season, and then you guys lost to, I forget which team it was in the lower bracket, but overall the hype from your team that season was really high, but you guys did make roster changes heading into this season, and I would say this season was a huge letdown in terms of the tumultuous roster changes you had. I think Slug was like inconsistent in his availability. Obviously, Deadly Seed did leave. What were the troubles? And like, did you? It felt like you guys weren't really able to overcome it because of that. So
compared to the first season, which was a really good season for us, that we were a move-up team, we had a lot of time to do like demo reviews and actually work on coordination issues. This season coming in, there was a lot of like in real life stuff. Like it's just a summer season. Work was getting in the way with some of the players. Some sports were getting in the way. Some players couldn't make the time, so we had to adjust around all that. It made it very, very difficult to adapt through the season, and I think that was like one of our biggest struggles. Even coming into this game, is like a lot of other teams, they've been playing all season. They got that coordination going down, but we didn't really have that. It was a very like, I want to say Mickey for us, but it was definitely,
An uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely an uphill battle. So the goal in the beginning was to try to make placements, but it just was not going to happen due to all that. So then we were like, let's just not be last, and we did that. So
the Anglerfish are the eternal 7th place champions, as they would say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything from you, Necro?
Not particularly, no. I mean, like you said, the roster was just tough to like get 6 and keep that core. So yeah, we've just been trying to see what we can do throughout the season. It's been a struggle, but we did end up not being last. So. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things was that kind of like roster instability after, like, aside from Slug, you guys had Loaf originally on the team, who then moved on to GC, but it was a weird kind of role mismatch because traditionally he's a soldier, but for you guys, he was playing flank scout while Necro was playing pocket scout. And really, when we saw you guys in the Fireside Cup, at least, well, nobody saw you guys on the stream because you guys were only playing the group stage, but you guys struggled against Amsterdam, now the top advanced team of the season, and I think you also lost to another team, but you still made it to playoffs, question mark? Or, you traded maps with one of the other teams. It was Ford Gaming. I think it was Ford Gaming.
Yeah.
Overall, like, this season and then coming into this LAN, do you guys feel like you did the best that you could given the circumstances that you guys had?
I think we definitely did the best we could with what we had. There was a lot of times where like the team was on a brink of death a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I would be like really upset about it, but I'm like, I just want to push through no matter what and just like finish the season out. I don't want to be one of those teams where it's like, it just dies. I'm gonna try to find what I can to work with. If we had to change the roster up a little bit, that's okay. Yeah, that's.
Anything, Necro?
No, not really. He said it best.
Yeah.
And later on in the season, so you guys started off like really, really terribly because of that. I think you guys only got like one win. I think it may have been versus, no, it wasn't the team that died. I think it was Anglerfish early on in the season, maybe, question mark. But at the end of the season, which is when Deimos couldn't play due to commitments. But I assume that prior to that, the six of you originally, Slug, you, Deadly, who else am I missing? Nerfu, and I think I said Slug already. Yeah, Deimos. You guys had already committed to playing at this LAN together, whether or not you guys placed or not. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had the idea that, like, if we all stick together, we're going to just do really well. And with the LAN coming up, all of us were very excited about it. We all wanted to be here. So we all decided, no matter what, we're showing up. We're here to play. And, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how we did. For sure.
Now, for those who weren't really following the Mafia, to put a disclaimer, towards the end of the season, after Deimos left, they did pick up Fireball and Dog Day Boy from Super Zaza Bomb that had also died earlier in the season. And were you guys expecting, towards the end of the season, to take a map off of Global Clan Ice? And I mean, you guys were kind of expected to beat Anglerfish, but with Raven there also on the team, actually, we should actually touch back on Raven before we talk about those two wins. How did you feel about playing with Raven, who was traditionally a soldier, but played last season on Medic, and now this is like his first legitimate season, I feel like, playing Scout at this kind of level? Necro, I kind of want to get your input on that, specifically because you're his Scout partner, so.
Yeah. I thought he did fantastic. He had a lot of really good calls. He brought a lot of experience to the team in that sense. Yeah, he was really good. He had really good calls. He was doing really good plays. He always had, like, really good KD, really high damage. He was just always doing his role. It was what we needed. And he really came in clutch at the end. Like, before the season even started, we had lost Loaf and Deadly couldn't play because of some other commitments.
Yeah.
So we were, the season hasn't started yet. We're down 2 players. We've got to look for 2 players, and we're like, man, I don't know if we can play this season, but Raven came in clutch. Slugmundo stepped up. We, had a little bit of a mismatched roster, but, we made it. And then, yeah.
Anything from you about Raven?
Raven. I think Raven is a really great player, and it was a huge pickup for us. And I was really happy with him to stay on the team because I knew it was a kind of a struggle for him. We are a newer team. He's been playing a little bit longer in like the higher divisions, but we definitely learned a lot from him. A lot about different synergizing with the flank and stuff like that. So, yeah, he was a really, really great player. I wish he could have been here, but
I know that he did come off that recent surgery or whatever, so he looks like he's recovered well enough to carry you guys to those wins against GCI and Anglerfish. That was with Fireball and Dog Day Boy. When you guys played with Fireball and Dog Day Boy, I did catch a glimpse of that from watching the demos at least, and it seemed like despite Fireball and Dog Day Boy's inexperience, they had integrated very well with the team. And did that intel with their inexperience? Like, were you guys surprised with the result specifically against GCI? Because that result, I think, maybe they were kind of already out of the running for LAN, but that kind of solidified it because they could not have made any mistakes, and they lost to you guys.
Yeah, they really stepped up. I thought they did really well. We've been playing against these guys for a few seasons now, I'm pretty sure, and we always watch the Fireball streams, so we're pretty close with them. And yeah, I think they really surprised us. They did really well, considering it was their first time in Invite. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to add there. They stepped up. They did good.
Yeah, so I just try to look at all the players that I think are going to be really doing well throughout the season, even if they're a little bit newer and stuff like that, just like us. I can just tell, I just can catch it like a vibe. And those were like 2 players, and it worked out perfectly. Like, their team died, which sucks, but I always had my eye on them a little bit. I knew it was going to be a struggle for them, but I wanted the team to live. I was like, okay, these guys, they do have really good potential to be, one of invite player for sure, and they definitely proved that this season. With Anglerfish, I expected to beat them. They were beating them in their scrims and stuff like that, so that worked out really well for us. And then the Global Clan Ice game came, and Global Clan, they're some days they'll play really well, and then other days, for whatever reason, they get really, really sloppy. I think it's definitely like match nerves or something like that. And that's one of those days. And we just made a great upset on them, and it actually helped our team move up into that placement. So,
A bit of a silly question, but what do you think about the shirtless Fireball streams?
I love them. I need more.
yeah, don't stop. And I was kind of rioting because they wouldn't let him in without a shirt on. So.
To be fair, it was kind of pretty toasty at the venue. If you looked at where the Super Zaza were sitting, there was like a heater. It was like, so for those who don't know, are not at the venue, like in the middle there, in the middle row of all the seats, there's like a heater going on, like from the ventilation.
Holly, are you okay? He's like, oh my God, I'm so sweaty all the time. He was just telling us about how sweaty it is. And it's funny because in the opposite side of the room where we're at, we're like freezing cold. And like, because the AC's on us the whole time, we're like shivering while we're playing. So it's definitely, it's cool. Yeah.
And at LAN here, you did finish second of the 4 invite bracket teams against GCI, Blanc Esports, the Wild Rumpus team, and what was Super Zaza Bomb. You guys actually did drop your first match against Metalworks, on Metalworks against Super Zaza Bomb, but you guys did turn up towards the end. It just wasn't enough, because I guess GCI slowly, progressively got better, but you guys actually did also beat GCI on Snakewater after that. So it kind of seemed like it was a bit of a roller coaster for you guys at this LAN, but do you think that you guys punched above your weight, played better than you expected, despite it being your first LAN experience?
So I will say that, in the first game, Super Zaza was doing great against us. They were collapsing on these mistakes. What's nice about this is that we can, kind of talk to each other about what's going on, and I can, just from a medic side, I can definitely see issues that we're having. And I was just and I also even talked to Fireball a little bit. He was like, oh, your scouts were just tunnel visioning the whole time, so I just blanked in. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's try to, work on that, try to spot the players, try to clean everybody up, make sure there's no any loose ends in our, little death ball scenario. So, yeah.
Necro, did you guys feel like you punched above your weight, kind of ended where you expected yourself to be?
I'd say so. I felt like I was playing pretty well for the majority of the game. I think in the early part, I was tunneling a little too much. I let the soldiers get on Dinko a little too much. But towards the end, I felt really good. I think against GCI in our round 6 game, I was on an 18 kill streak at one point. It was insane.
Yeah, he was going crazy. I was going crazy too. Yesterday, I was just LAN is just a whole different experience. I was hitting literally every single arrow possible. The soldiers are crazy in this game. It's so hard, but
it's a piping rocket.
It's also I can see a lock and load pipe, and I actually can dodge it now. It's actually pretty great. So if you guys never been to LAN, I definitely 10 out of 10, man.
But yeah, everybody else has been saying the same. Deimos was saying he felt like he was doing great. Our soldiers were doing great.
Yeah.
Deadly was going crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody's been doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Very proud.
So after this result, you guys felt like you did everything you came here to do at LAN, minus winning, of course. But what is the future of the Mafia core? Do you guys see yourself returning in some way, shape, or form for another invite or open LAN bracket similar to what they had here at this LAN?
There might be a chance, so there's definitely been talk about that. We've been playing for about 2 years now as a combo.
Since Chell.
Yeah, since Chell team. And it's always been every season it's been a week or two break, and then we're constantly going. And right now it's definitely from this season, it was such a hard season. There were so many good teams that we were thinking about just taking a nice little month off. And then kind of deciding from there if okay, do you guys still want to play or what's going on and things like that. So that's kind of our plan right now. I wanted us to play, but we'll see.
What about you, Necro?
Yeah, if the rest of the Mafia is going, I'm going to be there. I think we all want to play, but we'll have to see what kind of, things come up, see if there's going to be roster changes, figure it out. But if everybody's available, maybe.
Yeah.
And with that, I would like to end this with any shout-outs.
Shout out my girlfriend that's here. Shout out Charm. She kind of helps sponsor us a little bit. Shout out my whole team. Shout out Fireside Cast. They've been great. Shout out RGL. Shout out JPEG. He keeps messing with me all LAN and stuff like that. I think Manicu also, shout out him too. I'm probably forgetting other people. Shout out Fireball's team. Super Zaza. They're homies, so. And shout out GCI for their dub against us too. So.
Hashtag let him stream. Necro, any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout out to the Mafia. Shout out to my brother. He came here as well. I have way too many people I'd want to shout out, like all my former teammates. Like all those guys are goats.
Yeah. We can shout out Frantic.
True.
Yeah,
Shout out Frantic. Shark Attack, he might be watching.
Shark Attack sadly could not be here, but I know he did buy the Mafia shirt. But with that being said, we're going to sign off. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you another time.